Tantra, Volume 2, The Book of the Secrets, a new commentary. Discourse number 23, given in Bombay, India.
I have heard, once it happened in a church, after a very long dry sermon, the minister announced that there will be a brief meeting of the board, right after the benediction. After the services, a stranger approached the minister. He was the first man. The minister thought there had been some misunderstanding, because the man was absolutely a stranger. He not even looked a Christian. The appearance was that of a Mohammedan. So the minister said, "It seems you have misunderstood the announcement. There is going to be a meeting of the board." The stranger said, "So I have heard also. And if there was someone here more bold than me, then I would like to meet him." But this seems to be the situation of everyone. Look at people's faces, or at your own face in a mirror, and you will feel you are the most bold. And it seems impossible that there can be someone else who is more bold than you. The whole life seems to be a long boredom. Dry, dreary, meaningless. Somehow you are carrying it, a burden. Why this has happened? Life is not meant to be a boredom. Life is not meant to be a suffering. Life is a festival, a celebration, a peak of joy. But that is only in poetry, in dreams, in philosophies. Sometimes a Buddha, a Krishna, appears to be in a deep celebration, but they look exceptions, really unbelievable, not real, just ideal. They never happen, it seems. They are our wish fulfillments, myths, dreams and hopes, but not realities. The reality seems to be our face, bored, anguish and suffering impressed on it. And the whole life is just a carrying on anyhow. Why this has happened? And this must not be the basic reality of life. This cannot be, because this happens only to men. The trees, the stars, the animals, the birds, nowhere it happens, except when no one is bored. And even sometimes pain happens, it is momentary. But it never becomes an anguish. It never becomes a constant obsession. It is not always on the mind. It is a momentary thing, an accident. It is not carried over. Animals can be in pain, but they are not in suffering. Pain looks like an accident, but they get over it. They don't carry it. It doesn't become a wound. It is forgotten and forgiven. It goes into the past. It never becomes a part of the future. When pain becomes a constant thing, a wound, not an accident, but a reality, essential, as if you cannot exist without it, then it becomes a problem, and that problem has arisen only for human mind. Trees are not in suffering. There seems to be no anguish. Not that death doesn't occur to them. Death occurs, but it is not a problem. Not that painful experiences are not there. They are there, but they don't become life itself. Just on the periphery they happen and disappear. Deep down on the inner core, life remains celebrating. A tree goes on celebrating. Death will happen, but it happens only once. It is not carried over constantly. Except when everything is in a festive mood, only man is bored. Boredom is a human phenomenon. What has gone wrong? Something must have gone wrong. In a way, this can be a good sign also. Boredom is human. You can define human being through boredom. Aristotle has defined human being as rational. That may not be exactly true. It is not 100% true. Because the difference is only of degrees. Animals are also rational, less rational, but not absolutely irrational. There are animals which are just below human mind. They are too rational in their own way. Not so much as man is, but not completely devoid of reason. So the difference is only of degrees, and man cannot be defined by reason alone. But through boredom you can define him. He is the only bored animal. And this boredom can come to such a climax that man can commit suicide. Only man can commit suicide. No animal commits suicide. It is absolutely human phenomenon. When boredom comes to such a point that even hope becomes impossible, then you drop dead by yourself. Because then there's no sense in carrying all this. You can carry this boredom, this pain, that because somewhere the tomorrow is yet hopeful. This is bad today, but tomorrow something will happen. Because of that hope, you go on carrying. I have heard, once it happened, one Chinese emperor sentenced his prime minister to death. The day the prime minister was to be hanged, the emperor came to meet him and to see him and to say a goodbye. He was his devoted servant for many, many years, but he had done something which irritated the emperor so much that he sentenced him to death. But remembering that this is going to be the last day, so the emperor came to meet him. When the emperor came, he saw the prime minister weeping, and the tears were rolling down his eyes. He couldn't imagine because he was a brave man. That cannot be the cause. So he asked, it is impossible to imagine that you are weeping because of you are going to die this evening? It is impossible to conceive you are a brave man. And I have known your bravery so many times. So it must be something else. What it is? If I can do something, I will do. The prime minister said, no, nothing can be done, and it is of no use to say to you. But if you insist, I am still your servant. I will obey you and tell you. The emperor insisted. So the prime minister said, it is not my death, because that is not of much importance. Man has to die one day. Any day, that will be. But I am weeping because I have seen your heart is standing outside. The emperor asked, because of the hearts? Why? The prime minister said, I was looking up for my whole life for this type of hearts, because I have learned one ancient secret, that I can teach horses to fly, but only of a particular type. This is the type, and this is my last day. So, but don't, I'm not worried about my death, just that one ancient art will be lost with me. That's why I'm weeping. The emperor was thrilled, excited. If the hearts can flow, this will be something. So he said, how many days it will take? So the prime minister said, at least 1 year, and this heart will start flying. So the emperor says, okay, for 1 year, I'll make you free. But remember, that if in 1 year the heart is not flying, you will be again sentenced and hanged. But if the heart is flying, you will be forgiven. And not only forgiven, I will give you half of my kingdom, because I will be the first emperor in history who has a flying horse. So come out of the jail and don't weep. The prime minister came happy and laughing on the horse to his house. But the wife was still weeping and crying, and she said, I have heard the news has reached before you. But 1 year only? And I know you know no art, and this horse cannot fly. This is just a trick and deception. So if you had asked for 1 year, why not you could ask for 10 years? The prime minister said that would be too much. As it is already too much, flying of the heart. It is already too much. Then asking for 10 years would have been obviously a trick. But don't weep. But the wife says, it makes me still more sad that now living with you and after 1 year you will be hanged. This 1 year is going to be a suffering. The prime minister said, now I will tell you one ancient secret you don't know. In this 1 year, the king can die. The horse can die. I can die. Or who knows, the horse can learn to fly. 1 year. Just hope. And my lips throw hope because he is so bold. When boredom comes to a point where you cannot hope, then hopelessness is absolute. You commit suicide. Boredom and suicide are both human. No animal can commit suicide. No tree can commit suicide. Why this has happened? What is the reason behind it? Has man forgotten completely how to live, how to celebrate, how to be festive? While the whole existence is festive, how man has retreated out of it and has created a sad milieu around him. It has happened. Animals live through instinct. They don't live through awareness. They live through instinct, mechanical. Nothing has to be learned. They are born whatsoever they need to know. Their life runs on a smooth instinctive plane. There is no learning. All that they need to live and be happy, they have an inbuilt program for it, a blueprint, just in their cells. So they go on living mechanically. Men have lost instinct. No, there is no blueprint to live. You are born without any blueprint, without any inbuilt program. No mechanical lines are available for you to move. You have to create your own path. You have to substitute instinct by something which is not instinct, because instinct has dropped. You have to substitute your instinct by intelligence, by awareness. You cannot live mechanically. You have gone beyond that stage where mechanical life is possible. It is not possible for you. You cannot live like animals and you don't know how to live in some other way. This is the problem. You don't have a natural inbuilt program to follow. Without a program, you have to face existence. And boredom, suffering, is bound to be your destiny if you cannot create such awareness that you can live through awareness than living through instinct. Everything you have to learn. This is the problem. No animal is needed to learn anything. You have to learn everything. And unless you learn it, you cannot live it. You have to learn how to live. No animal needs it. This learning is the problem. You learn many things. You learn how to earn money. You learn mathematics, you learn history, you learn science. But you never learn how to live. That is creating the boredom. The whole humanity is bored. Because the basic thing remains untouched. And it cannot be left to instincts, because there are now no instincts to live. For man, instinct has dropped. That door is closed. You have to build your own program. You are born without a map. This is good. Because existence thinks that you are so responsible, you will create your own map. This is a glory. This is magnificent. This makes man at the highest, the peak of existence. Because existence leaves you free. No animal is free. He has to live and follow a particular program that existence gives it to. When it is born with a program. He has to follow it. He cannot go astray. He cannot choose. There are no alternatives given to it. For man, all alternatives are open, and with no map to move. If you don't learn how to live, your life will become a dreary affair. If this has happened, then you can go on doing many things, and still you will feel you are alive, dead. Deep down, something is dead, not alive. You go on doing things because you have to. Just to live, you go on doing things, but that just to live is not life. There is no dance in it, and no song in it. It has become a business. There is no play in it, and we cannot enjoy it. These techniques of Tantra are to teach you how to live. They are to teach you not to depend on animal instinct because it is no more there. It has become so faint, it cannot work for you, it cannot function. It has been noted, observed, that if a human child is brought up without the mother, he will never be able to learn. He will never be able to love. He will for his whole life remain without love. Because now there is no instinct. He has to learn it. Even love has to be learned. A human child who is brought without love cannot learn. He will not be able to love. And if a mother is not there, and if a mother doesn't become a source of happiness, of ecstasy, then no woman can become a source of happiness and ecstasy for that child. When he will be mature, grown up, he will not be attracted to women. Because no instinct is not functioning. This will not happen to animals. In the right moment, they will start functioning. They will become sexual. They will move for the opposite sex. That is instinctive, mechanical. With man, nothing is mechanical. If you don't teach a human child language, he will not learn it. If you don't teach, he is not going to have it. It is not natural. There is no instinct for it. Whatsoever you are is because of your learning. Man is less nature and more culture. Animals are simply nature. Man is less nature and more culture. But one dimension, the basic and the most foundational, remains uncultured. That is the dimension of being alive. You take it as if you already have it. It is taken for granted. That is wrong. You don't know how to live. Because just to breathe is not synonymous to live. Just to eat and sleep and just carry on the bodily affairs is not synonymous to live. You are existing, that's right, but you are not alive. A Buddha is alive, not simply existing. That aliveness can come only if you learn it, if you become aware of it, and if you search for it, and if you create situations in which it can evolve. And remember this, for man, mechanical evolution is not. Conscious evolution has taken place. And no, you cannot do anything about it. You have to move into conscious evolution. You cannot fall back. You can stick where you are, then you will get bored. That's what is happening. You are not moving. You go on accumulating physical things. So things are moving, not you. Your riches go on accumulating. They are growing. Your bank balance is growing. Not you. You are not increasing at all. You may be on the contrary shrinking, decreasing, but you are not increasing. Unless you do something consciously, you are lost. A conscious effort is needed. It is not asked from the animals because they are not responsible. So you have to understand one very basic thing. With freedom comes responsibility. And you can be free only if you are responsible. Animals are not responsible, but they are not also free. They are not free. They have to follow a particular pattern. They are happy because nothing can go wrong. They are following a predetermined course. And they are following a pattern which has been worked out in millennia, in centuries of evolution. It has been worked out and found correct. They are following that. There is no possibility of going wrong. There is every possibility for you to go wrong. Because there is no plan, there is no map, there is no pattern. Your life ahead is not chartered. You are free. But then a great responsibility falls on you. And that responsibility is to choose rightly, to work rightly, and to create your future through your efforts. Really, human being has to create himself through his own efforts. What existentialists in the West say is true. They say man is born without a essence. Or you can say without a soul. They say, Sartre, Marcel, Heidegger, they say that man is born without a essence. He is born as an existence. And then through his own effort he creates the essence. He is born only as a possibility, and then through his own effort he creates the soul. He is born only as a form. Then through his own conscious effort he creates the substance. Just the contrary is the case for all nature. Every animal, every plant is born with a essence, with a soul, with a program, with a fixed destiny. Man is born as an opening, with no fixed destiny. That this creates burden. This creates responsibility. This gives you fear, anguish, anxiety. And then, if you don't do anything, you get stuck wherever you are. That getting stuck creates boredom. You can be alive, happy and festive, joyful, only when you are moving, when you are growing, when you are increasing, when you are creating the soul. And really, when you are pregnant with the divine, and when the divine is growing in your womb, and you are going to give birth. For Tantra, God is not in the beginning, God is in the end. God is not the creator, but the ultimate peak, the omega point of evolution. It is the last, not the first, not the alpha, but the omega. And unless you become pregnant, and unless you carry a child within you, you will be bored. Because then your life is futile. Nothing is going to come out of it. No fruit is going to come out of it. That creates boredom. You can make this opportunity a source of evolution. Or you can miss the opportunity and can make it a point of suicide. It depends on you. Because man can commit suicide, only man can grow spiritually. No animal can grow spiritually. Because man can destroy himself, he can also create. Remember, both the possibilities move simultaneously. No animal can destroy himself. Impossible. You cannot conceive a lion thinking about his suicide to jump from a cliff and end the whole thing. No, impossible. No lion can think, however brave. No lion can think of ending himself, destroying. He is not free. You can conceive yourself destroying. And it's impossible to find a human being who has not thought many times to destroy himself. And if you can find a human being, then either he is animal or God, who has not thought of committing suicide. It is very basically human. The possibility to destroy, but that opens another door also simultaneously. Both the doors open, you can create also. You can create yourself, because you can destroy yourself. No animal can create himself. You can create yourself. And unless you start creating, you will be destroying. And unless you create yourself, start creating. And it is not a thing to create yourself, it is a process. You have to go on creating. Unless you reach to the ultimate, you have to go on creating. Unless the God is born within you, you have to go on creating. If you are not creating, you will be bored. Uncreative life is boredom. And all these techniques are to help you to create, to be reborn, to become pregnant. Now I will take the techniques first. This technique is very easy and really wonderful. You can do it, anyone can do it. And there is no question of type. For this technique, anyone can do it. And for everyone this will be helpful. Even if you cannot move very deeply in it, then it will be helpful. It will refresh you. Whenever you are bored, it will immediately refresh you. Whenever you are tired, it will immediately revitalize you. Whenever you are in a mood and you feel fed up with the whole thing, immediately a new surge of energy will flow within you. So for everyone, even if you are not meditating on it, it will be helpful, a medical help. It will give you health. And very easy to do. No prerequisites. The sutra is touching eyeballs as a feeder. Lightness between them opens into heart, and there permeates the cosmos. Before entering the technique, some introductory remarks about it. First, something has to be understood about the eye, because the whole technique depends on it. The first thing, whatsoever you are, whatsoever you appear from without, is false. But you cannot deceive your eyes. You cannot create false eyes. You can create a false face. You cannot falsify your eyes. That is impossible. Unless you become a perfect master, like a Gurdjieff. Unless you become a perfect master of his all energies, you cannot. No ordinary human being can do that. You cannot falsify your eyes. That's why, if someone looks in your eyes, stares in your eyes, you feel offended. Because he is trying to bring the real thing. And at that point, you cannot do anything. Your eyes will reveal the true self. So it is not good manner to stare in anybody's eyes. Even while talking, you go on avoiding the eyes. Unless you are in love with someone, unless someone is ready to be true with you, you cannot stare. There is a limit. Psychologists have observed 30 seconds is the limit. With a stranger, you can stare for 30 seconds, not more. If you stare more, you have started being aggressive. And the other will start immediately. You feel uneasy. You can stare from a far away point, because then no one is aware. If you are 100 feet away, I can go on staring at you. But if you are just 2 feet, it becomes impossible. In a train, crowded, or in an elevator, crowded, sitting or standing just close together, you never look at each other's eyes. You can touch the other body. That is not so offensive. But you never look into each other's eyes, because that will be too much so near, and you penetrate the real man. Eyes have no personality, the first thing to remember. They are pure nature. They have no personality. Second thing to remember, you move into the world almost through the eyes. 80% they say. Those who have been working with eyes, psychologists, they say 80% contact with the world is through the eyes. Your life moves 80% out through the eyes. That's why whenever you see a blind man, you feel pity. You never feel so much pity and sympathy when you see a deaf man. Never. But when you see a blind man, suddenly you feel sympathy and compassion. Why? Because he is 80% non-alive. A deaf man is not so unalive. Even your feet are cut and your hands are cut. You will not be so unalive. But a blind man is 80% closed. He lives only 20%. Through your eyes, your 80% energy moves out. You are moving into the world through the eyes. So the first thing when you get tired are the eyes. Later on, other parts of the body will be affected. The eyes will be the first to be drained of energy. If you can refresh your eyes, you can refresh your whole body because they are 80% of your energy. If you can revitalize your eyes, you revitalize yourself. In a natural surrounding, you never feel so tired as you feel in an unnatural city. Because in a natural surrounding, your eyes are continuously fed. The greenery, the fresh atmosphere, everything relaxes your eyes and feeds them. In a modern city, everything exploits your eyes and nothing feeds them. So move to a remote village or to a hilltop where nothing artificial is in the milieu, everything is natural. You will see different type of eyes. The twinkling, the quality will be different. Fresh, animal light, penetrating, alive, dancing. In a modern city, eyes are dead. Just living on the minimum. They don't know what festivity is. They don't know what freshness is. The eyes are unaware of any life flowing through them. Just being exploited. 80% of your energy moves from your eyes, so you have to be perfectly aware. And you have to learn an art about this movement, this energy, and the possibility of the eyes. In India, we have been calling blind men Prajna Chakshu, wisdom eye, for a particular reason. Because every misfortune can be transformed into a great opportunity. 80% energy moves through the eyes, and when a person is blind, he is not 80% alive. With the world, his 80% contact is lost. He is very poor, as far as the world without is concerned. But if he can use his opportunity, this opportunity of being blind, then he can use his 80% energy for his inner world, that you cannot use ordinarily, unless you know the art. So 80% energy is with him. It is a reservoir. And the energy that moves out can move within. And if he knows how to allow it to move within, he will become a wisdom eye. A blind man is not a prajnachakshu, a wisdom eye, just by being blind, but he can be. He has no ordinary eyes, but he can get the eyes of wisdom.